All right, let's cut some chips. Test cut, here we go. Hi guys. Finally, I can start the test cut. Now that the first 3 axes of the 5-axis CNC machine are complete, we will perform a test cut. Originally, I thought I'd get this done quick and upload the video right away. But yeah, things didn't go as planned.
Seriously, finally, thanks to your usual no-plan approach, you ended up dreaming up a full CNC 1310 upgrade midway, and everything got delayed again.
Hi, Angel. Inspiration doesn't follow schedules, you know? Besides, I fixed the inverter control, solved the noise issues, set up coolant. That's basically a miracle.
A miracle that took more than 1 month.
It wasn't just because of the CNC 1310 mods, okay. I also spent time figuring out how to control the spindle properly and learning how to use NGCGUI so I could mill without using CAM software. But the biggest issue was noise. The spindle inverter was putting out so much interference that my stepper motors stopped behaving properly. Fixing that took forever.
Wow, that actually sounds kind of interesting. Especially the NGCGUI stuff. Can you show how that works?
I could. But if I start talking about it now, this video's gonna be an hour long. So I'm planning to make separate videos for all that. Spindle control, noise issues, NGCGUI, all of it.
Then I guess I'd better subscribe so I don't miss them.
Let's prepare one more thing, a unique, creative coolant feature that I added to the machine. It's not fancy, but it works. And honestly, I'm kind of proud of it.
Hold on, aren't you missing a coolant tray or something? I mean, where does all the liquid even go?
Good question. Actually, I'm only using a tiny amount of coolant, just enough to keep the tool tip cool. Most of it evaporates from the heat during cutting, so I don't really need a big recovery tray.
Wait, is that the pump? It looks like a caterpillar. How does it even work?
It's called a peristaltic pump. Instead of pushing liquid with a spinning impeller, it gently squeezes a flexible tube in a rotating motion. That means the fluid never touches the pump parts, and it gives me super precise flow control. Perfect for micro drip coolant.
The coolant is slowly creeping up toward the spindle.
The hose is clear, so it's easy to see how the coolant is flowing. Here, I'll turn it on so you can see. See that? Just a steady little drip. It might not look like much, but that's all you need to cool the tool without flooding everything.
Still, it's not quite enough to wash the chips away, is it?
Yeah, I gave up on that part. All right then, let's start the test cut. I'll be milling aluminum, and the part I'm making will go on the CNC 1310's headstock.
What kind of part is that headstock piece?
I'm planning to use a high-strength taper bearing, 42 millimeters in outer diameter, for the headstock. But I'll cover that in a separate video, so check that one out when it's up.
This sounds a bit weird, don't you think?
Yeah, I noticed that too. It could be spindle noise messing with the mic, or maybe the built-in camera mic just isn't picking it up right. Either way, it doesn't really match the real sound. I used this camera while cutting the aluminum, but when I switched to steel later on, I used a different camera, and the sound came out totally normal. So yeah, I guess I shouldn't use this one for cutting footage anymore. So, this was the moment I forgot to turn on the coolant in the program. I didn't notice at first. I panicked and turned it on manually, but by that time, aluminum had already packed into the end mill and clogged the flutes completely. I kept cutting anyway, and yeah, eventually it started smoking. The whole cut was a fail. Yeah, this one's a total loss.
There's a word for that, you know? Epic fail.
Shut up.
Oh, come on. Don't take it so hard. This kind of disaster, totally normal for you. Honestly, your whole existence is like a beautiful mistake. That's what makes you, you. And you know what? Everyone loves you for it. You give us all hope. Because watching you makes us feel smarter by comparison. So thank you for boosting my confidence.
Shut up. Anyway, let's move on. I won't let something like this get me down. There are lots of things I'm good at, but if I had to pick a specialty, it's forgetting things I really don't want to remember. In fact, if necessary, I can enter a state of voluntary amnesia. And right now, I honestly have no idea what just happened. Weird. Guess nothing happened at all. Perfect. This time, it's an 8mm aluminum plate. Also a custom part for the CNC 1310 upgrade. Beautiful.
Finally, something actually worked.
Alright, let's move on to the next test. Cutting aluminum is expected. That's nothing special. This time, I'm going to try cutting steel. I didn't have a specific part to make, so just for the sake of testing and visibility, I'll be machining this temporary fixture table. Also, I'm using a different camera now, so the audio should sound normal again. These cutting conditions are no problem at all.
It sounds kinda loud though.
That's probably because I'm using a hollow 20mm shaft to hold everything for the test. It's not the most rigid setup, but it was the simplest way to run this test cut. Next, I'm going to increase the depth of cut to 1mm. Still looking good. Seems like it can handle more. Let's push the cutting conditions even further. I also measured the noise level during cutting. With the enclosure window open, the sound was around 70 to 80 decibels. When I closed the window and the closet door, it dropped to about 60 to 70, a 10 decibels reduction. Noise can be a real issue when running a CNC machine as a hobby, but at this level, I'd say it's totally acceptable.
Things are going unusually smooth so far.
Of course, this machine should be able to handle even heavier cuts. I always think ahead and operate with absolute precision. Next, I'll try a 3 mm width of cut, the same as the end mill diameter.
Wait, did that just crash into something? Let's rewind and check that again. Yep, full contact. Tools broken. Hey freak, what exactly were you testing?
Alright, this is a test to see what happens when the tool crashes. Yeah, totally intentional. Now viewers don't have to crash their own tools. They can just watch this and learn. It's all for their benefit. Probably.
Hey freak, that's a pretty weak excuse. You crashed it cause you weren't paying attention, didn't you? Either be honest or pay me hush money.
Okay. It was my fault. I wasn't careful.
You don't get it, do you? You don't need an apology. You need payment.
Wait, what? Is this really about money?
Exactly. Pay up, and they'll cut that crash footage from the edit.
Life is a series of successes and failures. And sometimes, I run into an angel filled with malicious intent. But that's okay. As long as I keep moving forward, forgetting the failures and pretending they never happened, I can still call it progress. That's it for today's video. This machine is designed as a 5-axis CNC, but today's test only used 3 axes. The table is just a temporary setup, so I don't think it had enough rigidity either. I'll use what I learned here to move forward with building the A and C axes. Also, I've started modifying the CNC 1310, and honestly, it's turning into a far more extreme modification than I ever imagined. I'm pretty sure it'll go way beyond what most people expect. Even I think it's kind of a next level idea. I hope you're looking forward to it, because I plan to use that modified CNC 1310 to make the parts for the A and C axes of this 5-axis machine. If you are interested in this project, I suggest you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any videos. If you empathize with my project, why don't you become a member and support this channel? There are a few benefits, but as long as you are a member, your name will appear at the end of the videos as a patron. In other words, you can be a part of this project. So, please look forward to the next video.